global. That the range buff is actually just makes me a little bit upset. But it is a fun champ. So I like what KT have done here. I think that they have thrown the gauntlet a little bit. Leaving up both the Set and the Lucian is scary. I think that Live Sandbox have just a real comfy comp for this particular meta. But KT have done something fun in response.
Very uninteractive.
Yes, extraordinarily difficult. I want to see whether KT can navigate this one, because this is another one of those games where Blank has to get a fair bit of work done in order to make sure that the Xin Zhao pick is justified as well on a broadcast that involves KT. As Doran going to overheat now. Someone's going to pull him back in. I don't know whether he necessarily wants to, as the Haymaker's available, but he's still going to flash to get himself out of the way.
He didn't have Haymaker. That was the key.
Right. I didn't look at the... I just assumed.
Of course.
Because he flashed.
Yeah.
And he didn't have it. As okay, Croco going to be fighting Blank here. Don't know whether fighting a Xin Zhao right now is exactly what you want to be doing, but did have the backup from Fate. Dove going to move on over, and Doran's going to come in here as well. It's a good rune prison onto Fate there as Wind. Not going to become live just yet. Got a lot of roaming happening here, Chronicler.
This is what I wanted to see from these two teams. It's level 3. We're contesting the scuttles.
Yeah, well, that's a big old teleport to come forward here. Is okay, they're just going to dive onto the Tahm Kench. Harp going to flash. There's the Grey health consumed. They're trying to ignore Noah, so he's looking to try and get as much as he can. But Fate flashing on forward, and Harp just baits him on in there. Like to get around and try and influence the map, but as you can see, this is not peak effort, right?
Yeah, I think he's moved 2 or 3 times as they go in.
Yeah, counter gank available here from Blank, as you can see all of the healing. Just too good. Effort is going to be taken down. No way out, and that's going to be first blood going over to Noah. Disaster beginning here for Live Sandbox. As Croco is going to find out now. That's going to be the flash out, though, as the Zenith Blade is not really going to work. Harp just wanders on forward. Equalizes fantastic as the Dawning Shadow will augment it. Good knock up there onto Croco, who's now just trying to get out of the fight. As Effort once again might be left behind. Flash forward, though. Goodbye, Croco. Even invested in his splash for the moment. And it's not really going to work out. Flash through from Noah. It's going to help secure that one. And KT roll all over the fight. Should be able to grab Shelly as well.
A bit of a shocking turn of events there from Live Sandbox, because
we'll just move towards the top side, though. It looks like they're going to go for a dive onto Summit and try to get Doran even further ahead. There's a Realm Warp. And yeah, waves stacked up. Equalizer goes down. Shelly pops on in as well. As, yeah, Summit's just a sitting duck. Rune Prison comes through. Yeah, he's definitely real dead. Fate had also teleported. This turret's going to die.
It's looking really, really rough here. Surprisingly enough, and they kind of hinted towards it. They are still looking.
Solar Flare onto Dove. Doesn't have his flash, remember. Croco going to come on in. There's the Moonfall. Goodbye, Dove. Secured. Fate has to flash away from Doran.
It's just a bit of a nuisance with everything you want to do.
Oh, well, Zenith Blade will connect here, and Noah is very, very dead. Crescent Guard. Yeah, Noah going to move back in here, and 10 seconds until the Infernal Drake is alive. Effort taking a lot of damage here, and this is really important. 3 seconds now, and Effort, if he gets picked, like he just did, makes things really difficult. Moonfall comes on down. Dawning Shadow means that everyone stays alive, but it's a great ulti from Summit. Flash out from Harp, eats the Grey health, as now Summit's out of buttons, and Dove is looking to lock this one down. He will do so. The Devour's there to keep him alive, and KT, his team fighting is beautiful. Yep.
And they are playing into a lot of champions that do quite like that.
Dove going to try and keep himself alive. Does so really nicely. Teleport comes in here as Doran throws out the equalizer. It's not the greatest positioning, but should still get the work done. Croco well and truly dead. That's actually revenge from the attempted assassination onto the Rise. Dove now 4-1-1. It's not a whole lot. Doran is going to find Effort. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Equalizer still available as Doran does silence himself, and then Effort has to walk up the red carpet or into the open maw of the flamethrower. This is what I call the Rumble Drake. Just, you know, turns the Equalizer into its poke ability as Harp walks into 4 people. Don't know whether it's necessarily all that bad as the Dawning Shadow flies on over. Croco's going to get burnt down. Doran, with all of this solo lane money on this Rumble, is doing so much work. Summit, the Haymaker does nothing. Prince is running away from Noah, who is at center. And he's a very angry one, cancelling some autos there, but we can't blame him. If you've played center, you've cancelled a few autos yourself. As, yeah, Prince, I don't know whether that one's the sneaky move you want to be going for. Yeah, Harp going for that solo, and we'll be able to get him, the captive audience. The turret shot, no! Oh, dear. That's not what you want. However, they are able to break open the base. Barely a save. Barely a save.
I think it's good enough. I think it's good.
It's going to have to be, you know. It's going to have to be.
Is that the entire team is playing well. It's not just Dove, it's not just Thorin. It's Noah and Harp, two of these rookies that are...
Oh, flash.
Okay.
Effort. Gonna get a stun back there as Blank does have the ulti. They break open the turret. Wind becomes lightning as Croco dives on him. Moonfall's good, but look at this. They just stay alive for so damn long that Diana can do absolutely nothing as Doran overheats, but they just eat all of the damage, heal it all back up again. The Phalanx is formed, and Noah just keeps everyone alive.
I don't think there's anything you can do.
Live Sandbox. We
We
felt that way for like 15 minutes now, which is a bit unfortunate. I'd personally say, because you just don't have the damage, and your dive doesn't work.
Yeah, we're searching for some positives here on the Live Sandbox side, but instead, we're just going to say that KT, with their 11,000 gold lead, just looking a whole host better as an equalizer comes through here at Summit. Haymaker ain't gonna do it, unfortunately, as Harp is the most aggressive Tahm Kench that we've ever seen, as the Realm Warp says, hello! Big surprise. And yeah, this could just be the end of the game.
I really hope it is for Live Sandbox's
sake. Oh,
yeah, if you want to recover from a game, this one has not been even remotely fun. I think it's one where you can easily mental reset because, as mentioned, this game, you went for a very clear strategy in draft. KT responded beautifully. Very happy to see that pivot in draft because he pointed it out, right? Like, just the Rumble, Senna Kench, we've seen teams then still drive down. Doran!
Oh, he wanted to be able to slow down effort for a little bit longer there, as he is going to have to use his stopwatch in order to avoid the Dawning Shadow. Equalizer being thrown out off cooldown because he may as well. Just with one Cloud Drake for now, but at level 16, that all will be back pretty dang soon. Yep, 36 seconds. That'll be back up again.
You know?
Yeah,
and
that was a while ago.
It was a while ago, but that was hard because as a Korean caster, you don't want to be biased. That was still not as hard as casting a KT game where they're doing well.
Oh, yeah, true. True, you'll get used to it, though. It takes a while, but you'll get there. As, yep, Summit's dead. Use the Haymaker, it's fun, but it's not exactly like the Haymakers that we've seen in other series, because he's pretty anemic. As the Realm Warp, the Abyssal Voyage,
there
it is taking rides all over the place. In goes Dove, that's going to be the double kill for him. Yeah, Croco uses his Zhonya's, that's going to delay the inevitable. Dove's going to say, I've got that button as well, as he picks up the triple. Fate is going to go down, so no Pentas happening right now as Doran is chasing after Prince. Flamethrower in hand. Okay, trap comes down, and Prince is just going to look to kite while he loses the game. KT looking brilliant in this series, and they're looking to try and delay for as long as possible. Doran. Yep, okay. Equalizer does nothing. He's going to burn, though, and that's what happens when your wallet's real heavy and real hot. As, yeah, KT.
Exceptional. Everyone is playing well.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Doran did a lot of damage.
He did.
And this is actually really strange, right? Because every time we've seen this attempted flex, it feels like teams trying to be too big brain and it not really being all that great, actually, because Rumble is just so good at mowing through the jungle so efficiently. And Doran's like, no, remember, us top laners, we did. Cannon would be more team fight and more anti-dive.
And it's really good into Nara as well. Oh, and you have a single... this draft from KT. Because you have a single damage lethality virus, right? So they're not going to itemize armor. They want to itemize MR, because Volleyball also is a considerable.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it way better. It's still not great, but if you go in on even footing, you will be fine. Don't fall as far behind as you did in game number 1, but hopefully the lack of necessity to hard force should take care of that for Live Sandbox. Otherwise, we might be in for a very swift series here.
Yep, Doran pretty happy that he gets to take Lightning Rush first, makes it to this brush. Heck yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
It's ruined. Horrible.
Actually, maybe it has to be the fact that it's G-Sun's birthday tomorrow. That's a big old flash out as Dove just says goodbye, Faith. Man, Set not having a great day today, regardless of who's wielding him.
So well played by KT. Oh, man. I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried, Atlas, because
it's better to get worried in a series like this. You make less people upset.
Yeah. I've learned from my mistakes from.
Wow, this is an aggressive teleport.
Oh my
As Blank's
God.
coming down towards the bottom side, Lantern's going to get Dove in here. Good knock up, but the hook will miss. KT, very aggressive play. Doesn't necessarily pay off, but look at all this experience the Live Sandbox cannot get. This is a disaster for Live Sandbox.
Oh, if they can get them on the rebound here, because they do have a level lead, like both of them do. I actually think they might be able to fight here if they want to.
Yeah, potentially. Okay, Dove finds himself a prison onto Croco, and it's Blank concentrating on the Rift Scuttler.
I don't think they're actually going to go for anything. As I say, that Noah comes back.
Yeah, Effort doesn't have the quickness. Hook is going to find Croco as he dives in. He's going to be able to grab Shelly as Blank has to ult to get himself out. True Shot Barrage lands onto KT nicely as Summit going aggressive. Doesn't have Mega Gnar, and now KT are getting some flashes, but they do not get the Rift Herald, and that's going to be picked up by Effort.
That your opponent at some point just wins a fight, gets Soul, and then you are very, very sad as they go in.
Yeah, that's a Gnar that doesn't really do too much. Slicing Maelstrom, though, onto Croco does a fair bit of work as there's the showstopper, and that is going to grab the kill onto the cannon. Dove going to follow suit as the Rise thought that he was the one coming through for the help, but it doesn't work whatsoever. And Liv Sandbox really pulling back in this series now. It's KT now getting position here towards the top side of the map. They're looking to collapse onto Summit, who does get wind of the idea. There's the Realm Warp as Dove's going to make his way up. 4 versus Gnar. This is going to be rough as Summit decides to buy as much time as humanly possible. Big old teleport here towards the bottom side as Noah is getting the same treatment. Prince could be in trouble, but no. Just going to take down the turret as well as the Varus.
Work. Outside of that, though, you're going to be looking a lot deeper into the game, which is very hard. It's Croco.
In goes Croco. Misses that Moonfall, though, unfortunately, as now Noah could be in trouble. Summit very close to getting that Mega Gnar as he's looking to dive on top. Only finds Doran, but that'll do. Picks up the double kill now as both the Cannon and the Thresh taken down. Now KT, not with a whole bunch of options, as Live Sandbox have their run of the map. Just being pushed out of this one completely. There have been subsequent issues happening for both of these teams, of course, so I don't know whether it's exactly just that black and white, but
it's not one mistake.
Okay, this is could be an error as Effort gets taken down extraordinarily low. The Ignite ticking, and that's going to be it. So Harp is going to be able to lock that one up with the Ignite.
That one's on me. And Dove.
Yeah, potentially.
Or even just Doran behind enemy lines with level 16 Realm Mob. I say that facetiously, but actually that might actually be one of the lines that you're looking at here. Because if you don't get on top of them from the back line and you don't blow them up very quickly, this just happens.
Immediately flashes, but the Grand Entrance is on top of him. He does go golden, though. There's Liv Sandbox with 3 members there. Showstopper ain't exactly what you want as they throw Dove on top of the Lantern. Fate's made to look a little bit silly. Doran was thinking about a flank, but his teammate did manage to make it out alive, and now Doran might be the one in trouble. Oh no, pulled back as another Lantern from Harp is going to land, and I think maybe if KT somehow miraculously win this game, that Harp should get the player of the game just for that. Just save 2 people, one after the other.
He's a big saver. He sees someone in a dire situation, and he is always there at the ready.
But I don't know whether they're going to have enough as now looks for the showstopper into the wall. Dove, can he get enough damage down is the question. Summit dives over the wall. Now they're just looking for Blank. Great Gnar into the wall there as Dove is well and truly dead. Blank will survive for the moment, but yeah, who's ganking who in this game, really?
Where around the map and always be ready. Seemingly baiting in KT multiple times. Bit of a flip.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Oh, I was a bit scared there.
Slightly. As Harp now is going to flash, trying to get himself out. Doran throws down the ulti, goes golden. So does Croco though, as Noah, he's not going to be able to offer anything in there. Doran went for it, gets some health bars to about half, but that's not really going to be consequential as Noah, next to this very dead turret, not going to defend it. And Liv Sandbox go from Baron to taking turrets about as quickly as you can.
Finally fights.
Yeah, and this inner turret on the top side of the map is well and truly gone. Bottom wave, not exactly in the greatest spot for Liv Sandbox, but we're not going to be too upset about that one, as now they're just looking to break open the base. Summit in the mid lane. True Shot Barrage being thrown in between a few KT members here. Prince looks to just get this wave conquering forward. Now what turns up, Varus really has been pretty forgettable this game. Here's the teleport flank though, as Blank looking for his opportunity. In goes Doran, there's the ulti effort, in a bit of trouble. Prince also just capable of getting those autos out, lands the Mystic shots, diving on forward, and yeah, the wallets are a bit too heavy, Chronicler. Liv Sandbox, they give Prince the triple. The double goes over to Summit, and they'll just win the game off that full house.
Beautiful play by Liv Sandbox. It's a textbook game from start to finish. In the last game, the early game doesn't go as well as they would like to. And in this one, it is an easy peasy lemon squeezy, and these two teams clearly very evenly matched here, Atlas.
Yeah, well, I mean, evenly matched or...
See, still a considerable amount of damage being done by Noah, even into the face of 3 Mountain Drakes, but this game was weird, especially in the context of the first game, right, where you go from an incredibly one-sided match for KT into literally exactly 8 towers to 0. It was... Still think is not the pick. 11.14 patch, you know. Aatrox is super broken with new Stride Breaker. You have the LeBlanc with the cheaper item. I think it's a little bit early because we're still playing on patch 11.12.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a problem. However, this is a similar style of Liv Sandbox comp, but like game number 2, one that's a lot stronger. I think that the KT comp is very, very nice, but if you look at a lot of the power of it, it does get mitigated.
R4 Aatroxes, they're Sinner junglers. It's just it's a bit of a classic here for Sandbox.
It's even worse because like Udyr is also... It really does feel, because Sandbox was also a team that just picked things even though they were nerfed. And they were like, no, we can still make this work. So Blank went for a level 2 cheese gank, Doran.
Oh dear. Yeah, Doran might have to flash here. As the flash in from Croco to try and get that early aggression. Doran's going to flash down towards his Xin Zhao, and he's just dead. Blank's just going to turn around. So that could have potentially been better. Not going to be the case though, as the Realm Warp is going to bring the Rise in as Summit. He thinks that he likes this, gets the flash out of Dove. Very nicely done. Croco's in position as well. KT invest a lot, don't get too much.
Very good pivot. No, Croco, don't do that. Oh, Croco. Oh, it's the crab fight.
Yeah.
They're raving.
It is going to be a 3 versus 3 as Summit getting a lot of value so far. It looks like Udyr is the call, and they will take him down. Is now Blanket level 4 trying to turn this. The double kill for the Rise. Fate now knows that he has to get the heck out of there, and he will do so. Effort comes in pretty late, but no, KT have already won the battle, and they also get the Shellfish. About to get sandwiched. There are 4 people in this mid lane. As Croco will find the Xin Zhao. Blank looking for the knockup, finds it here, is now Dove. He's like, what the heck is going on? Everyone's in my mid lane. But now he's chasing after Liv Sandbox. They do manage to take down Blank, and now they've overstepped. Man, we are throwing leads back and forth all day long. Effort surviving just somehow. As Fate, that's his clone, so he'll be absolutely fine. Doran looking for an opportunity to find a cleanup kill, but he will not get it.
No, Dora, he didn't know.
All that until the game's over. This time, we're at least getting some back and forth.
Yeah, it's looking really, really nice. And it is Liv Sandbox that has the priority on the roam here, which is what, like, that's the nice thing about this. This is effectively a 2v1 and a 2v1 happening simultaneously. It's Effort who, again, gets Prince out, then finds the return hook on Harp, goes in, gets the flay on Dove, and gets out.
Yeah.
And while that is happening, creating so much space, and the fighting hasn't stopped.
Yeah, Doran looking to try and take down Summit. Scrap Shield comes on in, the flash out from the Rumble, but now he's not going to be a part of this fight. His effort will go down first. Dawning Shadow comes in here, double kill for the Rise once again as Summit gets on in there, but now he's extraordinarily low. And I feel like Dove was ignored for the majority of that one. The teleport comes on forward.
Rumble are as dangerous in these fights as they go in.
Hook isn't going to land, but there's a great play. Harm gets the Devour, uses it for as much time as possible, but has to spit the center out, and she is going to immediately get murdered. Another kill goes over to the Jinx. Great news for Live Sandbox fans.
I mean, otherwise, there's no way, right? Because the rest of the team didn't have teleport, wasn't in position, and KT, that is a death brush if I've ever seen one. Effort.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get himself out. Hook is going to connect. It's onto the center. Now Effort taking a fair bit of damage. In goes Blank. They do manage to lock it down. Croco now has to walk over the equalizer. He will flash to get himself out, but Summit's already tidied up the center, and now he's looking to flash his way to escape. Blank goes in. Doran's going to flash over, as we'll see whether Summit can actually survive this or whether Doran can survive it, as that's a bit of a visual bug right there. And Dove's going to come in and say, well, you guys were taking too long. I'll finish that one up after that Realm Walk.
Back and forth. Masters of Mayhem.
Masters of Mayhem, I like that one, Hook's going to connect here onto Harp. Will have some great health, but he's going to have to eat it real fast, and it's not going to be enough. Summit's going to burn down, but only half of his health bar is going to go. Fate moving himself in there as the stun lands onto Croco. Doesn't do a whole lot. KT now have to try and stave off Live Sandbox without their Tahm Kench. Harp going to be coming up pretty soon and does have the Abyssal Voyage available, as Shirley is the next thing on the menu. Looks like Noah's going for the back, and will be able to start moving out from the fountain alongside the Tahm Kench as well.
I really like this call. I'm buying Live Sandbox. I think that, yes, you killed the Kench, but all the big ultimates are still available for KT.
Now KT looking for the turnaround. Noah once again frontlining, but he's not going to be punished for it this time around. And finally Doran turns up, and Live Sandbox say, well, it's our cue to exit. As, okay, good interruption there from Summit. Stops that Realm Walk from coming through.
A lot of posturing here. Both teams looking for anything that they can find. That is two flashes gone. That is on both the Rise.
Oh, we've seen this flash, this hook so many times. As Doran's just going to get dove. He does manage to get down the equalizer, but that's going to do next to nothing. KT have grouped up, and that is a decent snare onto Croco, but KT are going to have to back away from this one, and it looks like Live Sandbox is starting to win these wars of attrition.
No.
Okay, this is...
No.
Yeah.
No.
Setting up the gank brush, and Live Sandbox are like, okay, well, if you guys just want to sit here.
You saw them walk in there.
Yeah, well, Croco's going to face check. He might be the only one that can, as in goes Fate for a lot of damage, but Croco's already dead. Good exhaust onto Summit to avoid all of that AoE, but he does time it out, and just gets devoured immediately. What? My God, the Gore Drinker is filthy from the Aatrox, and now Prince is going to get excited. Live Sandbox, they've hit critical mass, and unfortunately, KT's run around and do nothing strategy really didn't work out for them.
All according to plan, Atlas. It was Croco who walks in, and we're looking at each other like, what is he doing? But as it turns out, as you already said, one kill is all it takes. And yes, Croco walking in, it feels like the biggest troll ever, as he instantly gets blown up. Summit gets exhausted, and everything looks dire. But then Harp goes for the munch, and Summit is like, that's God. 5 people! Thank you for the Gore Drinker. Fate jumps in, Prince gets an assist, and the fight is, wow.
That's like all of his health just comes back.
천천히. 나 큐 1초. 싸워.
Oh my goodness.
The call as well to go for that.
Insanity. Again, it's effort. Didn't work out so well last time, however. Maybe they'll just give it another go and see whether it works this time. Summit in position off to the side is Fate. Unbeknownst to KT. Oh my goodness, the damage onto Noah. Now Devour is on cooldown. KT desperately trying to deny this Ocean Soul as even the chain Fate to just barely catch him, and KT have decided that they're not going to be able to walk up. So that is a free Ocean Soul going over to Live Sandbox. As I just don't know what KT's plan is right now. They're just wandering around as 5 people, hoping that maybe Live Sandbox sends one person into exactly where they know that they all are.
And even that is, you don't have to dive. A Sandbox, as I say that, they dive!
They're going to. Dove is going to go golden. Fate immediately gets exhausted this time around as Summit once again gets a great core drinker, but everyone's alive for the moment. Fate is going to be taken down. So there's the first getting excited from Prince, who's now just freely auto-attacking. Everyone on KT is just going to melt like butter. Hop, the last one to go down. I believe that was a quadra, or it might have been a triple-double. We like both of them as Liv Sandbox is going to march down the mid lane. As KT have just ran out of answers, I think.
And we say it in Champ Select, it's a great drop for a dive comp, but this is not a dive comp from Liv Sandbox. You see the poke that Fate brings, you see the range that Prince bring. They can just sit at the objective and hit it and be fine.
Yep. How does Prince ever die?
Well, he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, he did once that one time, but Fate doesn't. As the Nexus is going to be taken down, Liv Sandbox. And look, that's just how it was. our first Udyr for 11.12 was a success, which I hate, but that's okay.
In the context of this specific game, we can excuse it because there is the Fresh to like help solidify it. You do need the tank, you know.
Yep.
You have a LeBlanc and an Aatrox, both of which utilize setup incredibly well. Because if you hit a stun, it's a free chain. If you hit a stun, right, we saw what.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Season with the Universe Translation, and Live Sandbox close out the week with a victory over KT Roaster. Congratulations. Thank you. It was a huge comeback victory from Live Sandbox. How are you feeling, guys? It was a hard one. Very difficult, but I think we all concentrated till the very end, so we were able to get this win. I'm glad that we were able to play in front of a bigger audience. Summit. There was actually an analysis on the audience. She was holding a sign saying, "Why didn't you play Ezreal Gnar in game 1?" Time to answer a question. I think we had some bad draft in the game 1, and I think opponent outdrafted as well. So yeah, it didn't really go as we planned. Then Summit. You had some awesome game on Gnar in game 2, and you even said, I guess I'm a Gnar one trick. I think Gnar has been a pretty solid pick on the side of Live Sandbox, right? Effort. What do you think about Summit's Gnar? That was one of the most reliable picks, starting from the spring split. Whenever he gets to play Gnar, we just trust that our laner will win lane. Game 2, we had Gnar versus Canada matchup. Tell us about it. I think it's a 50-50 matchup, but I was able to win the trade in the very early games. I was able to have a fair bit of an easy laning phase. And the top lane was about win lane, win game in both game 1 and 2. I think winning lane priority looked vital to the victory, and you just decided to play Aatrox into Rumble. We were thinking about either Gnar or Jace, but those all got removed from the bench. So we wanted to play a pick that can exert a huge pressure and dominance in teamfight, and Aatrox was the one. I'm also curious about the Udyr pick. Kroko, he's a Udyr master in our team, so he's always ready to pull it off. And I think in the game 3 it was a very nice situation to give it a go. We had so many actions in game number 3. I think that got to activate the big ol' alpha top laner soul in yourself, right? Yeah, in this kind of a back and forth team fight, every skill matters. I think we were able to execute it really well. And because we had too many actions and fights, it took both teams so long to pick up the first Drake. And I think the current a meta of the LCK is about, fighting around drakes and objectives, right? I mean, if you don't have any action in the laning phase, yeah, that's the case. But if you actually look for fights during the laning phase, I don't think you really have to play around drakes. You just have to focus where you can win the trade, Sometimes you can play on the top. It doesn't really necessarily have to be the Drake. I think a lot of people are now seeing Leap Sandbox as the strongest teams, and I think you are the centerpiece. What do you think about it? Well, I think I am making less mistakes compared to before, but still I did make some mistakes today as well, so I think I have to keep working hard. You'll be facing off Africa Freaks in the next match. How are you going to prepare for that? Africa is another very tough opponent, but we will stick to our, screams and practices just as usual and do our best. As far as I know, Africa is like 4-2. They are on a good momentum, so I hope we can take their momentum away and start our winning streak. And SNL is waiting for you guys. Looking forward to your chemistry with some caster. I'm a little bit under pressure, but I will try to enjoy the show. I will enjoy the show watching it. And this will be the end of the interview from Summit Effort from Leap Sandbox, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.